brought in my old friend here, 20 plus years, Pat. We call him Flathead. We're gonna see if he lives up to his name because, you know, he's like the catfish guy. Can you believe you're going to get me to not only go but shoot video catfishing?
It is kind of amazing. I do want to see you branch out in other types of trash fishing eventually down the road, but like this is just a baby step to get you where I think you could go.
But here's the caveat. We're taking the project boat. First fishing trip with a project boat. I can't believe we're gonna fish for trash fish with the first project boat, but here we are. Maiden voyage for real. Catfishing, can you believe this? This is a little ridiculous, but it's kind of fitting for the project. We're not going to put those big stanky things in the 622. Dude, what are we doing here?
This is the first fish of the boat.
Cut the line.
It might be a sheephead.
Cut the line. It ain't no sheephead. Hey, do you want to see if you know how to use this thing?
Yeah. Which end do I use again, Ross?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we had all these little taps when we were starting to do stuff, and we're like, oh, how is that a bite? And then you get one that just about rips it right out of the rod holder. But one of the keys kind of on this is there's a bunch of guys out today. It looks like they've got an event going on or something. I've never seen this many boats out. But on the Lake Master chip, you see those little depressions on there, and you can just drive right to them, and then there's spot rod, which you've never done before, right?
No, I've never done that.
Because it's nice not having a...
Yeah. Because otherwise it feels like you have to have two anchors, and you almost like you're tight roping across them to hold your boat in position.
And you know, we've got the talon there too, and on this little harder bottom, you can even put that down healthy. A little bit of spinning, because the wind's, we've got 20 mile an hour wind. I think this is chunky.
This is a good fish.
It's got this old, this is a rod we use for red fishing. There's my leader, she's right there. Oh, that's
nice fish.
First fish of the project boat is an absolute disaster. Alright, if you grab down on that. Alright, you know, I brought these really long Rapala pliers, but that little VMC was right barely in there.
Look at the big noggin on that fish. Look out.
You know, I release a lot of my walls. We're going to release this one too.
Are you sure?
You know, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's not what you pass off on your fish fries when you're
I might.
They wouldn't know.
Next time you come, that's what we're eating.
Oh,
yeah, we're going to let that thing go, but we'll take a picture first, and let's get some rods out. But hey, what did this come on?
Hot dog.
Hot dogs. So one of the things here, we're not going to keep any of these fish. I wouldn't recommend eating them, but that's up to you guys. I've got the little Fish USA gripper. You know, several companies that make them. I really like the old Fish USA one. And that way we can just do this. And you don't have to get all stung up, nastied up, and anything like that. These things are like invaluable. You know, the nice thing about this catfishing is you don't need much. I've got one box, and that's pretty much doing everything we needed to do. We've got a handful of different sinkers in here, 1 and 2 ounce, depending on where you're at and how deep you are in the currents. You know, maybe you need bigger or smaller than that. But these pyramid sinkers are kind of nice. A lot of those guys like those. And the thing you see with a lot of catfish guys, regardless of what it is just that's a flat sinker, because that's going to remain stationary. It's not going to, you know, blow around in the current, and it's going to keep that bait, you know, more in place, stationary, and that's a big deal. The other thing you saw, we just had a few beads here to kind of protect our knot. Then we've got those sinker slides, like we showed you there. You've seen them on our rods, so that way we can switch those really easy with the sinker sides, but also not have to have the sinkers on when we're going, whether it's in the home or the garage or in the rod locker. It's going to keep things from getting beat up. And then we've just got a selection of different, you know, hooks here. The main one we're using is the wide gap hook, the live bait 1/0 here by VMC. Got a couple different sizes of those, and that style is really good, even though we're not using live bait. And then the other would be just a couple different styles of circle hooks. So if you're really getting onto the fish, it's a lot better to not have to, you know, dig these out of the fish, especially if you're going to release them. So circle hooks and some live bait style hooks, a little bit extra line for a leader. That's really all you need. One box can kind of do it all. And make sure you got some swivels in there too. Little VMC swivels make a big difference there for not getting things twisted up, and a lot easier to make your connections. I didn't realize the dirty trick you played.
What was that?
That you have the reel on the wrong side.
Well, no, that's the correct side. That's the correct side.
Did you lose that fish?
It feels like you dropped it.
Is it just, it's not just country stuff. It just must be all these people that fish know not to. Dude, they must be thick over there.
Thousands of them down there.
Hey,
It's not a big fish.
no, but we'll take it. So this one's on a shrimp, right?
Yes.
So when you're doing this, it's crazy in my even limited amount of time seeing that they have a preference for a bait, even though I don't know how they even see it. They probably just smell it.
Oh, this is a Ross fish. Yeah.
Oh my God.
If I fish with the show, I need a picture with that fish with Ross. That's a must. Oh, I'm a master trash fisherman.
You are a master.
Jedi master.
Could you master a catfish? Then we're breaking in the project boat with catfish.
I'm just trying to go slow right now. You know, I just don't want to pour it all.
You've been going slow.
Yeah.
You're really good at that. Yeah. Like molasses.
Yeah, frozen. Yeah.
And you know what the thing is people are always like, "Oh, you're trolling." I'm literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so we're catfishing, and this is kind of as basic as things get, but no matter what type of fishing you're doing, boat control is really the key. We've got several different things going on here. It's pulling like 20-some miles an hour, and we're using spot locks. So I've got the Ultrex, and another key part of that is I've got Dakota lithiums in here, so I mean I can run that at a higher speed if it needs that to hold, and we really don't worry about it. So we've got the nose of the boat being held there with this deal. Now another option, if it gets a little crazier or if that boat starts to spin, Pat in the past is, you know, put a second anchor down. But all we have to do is just put the Minn Kota talon down, because that's why I've got that 15 footer. So we can actually put that down and help that boat from spinning. That's going to keep those baits more stationary. And then when all else fails, we've got a 30-pound anchor here, a Navy anchor, and a chain, and a whole lot of rope that in case for some reason we just couldn't hold, because without that, you really can't do this, right, Pat?
Yes.
You got to have boat control, because all of this is very simple, but no boat control, no fish, no good.
I hope I have another Ross spinner fish. That's what I really hope. He's bouncing. It's funny because like they're not running with the current, they're running up.
So are we missing some because we're not keeping them tight, maybe?
I don't know. Drop the bait. No, we didn't.
I mean, this is a good point, you know, that's why when we started this practice, in all seriousness, I put 2 braids out. You put 2 models, because sometimes you'll see those where with the stretch and the slack that you get in that model, right? It's crazy to think that you wouldn't know you have a 20-pound cat on.
Well, it's coming up current.
This is the right flavor now.
This is the right flavor.
I feel like you've got the right junk. Maybe that's the video. The right junk.
The right junk fish. Oh, that's a fish, Ohio Ross fish right there. Yeah, taste that. I'm so happy. This boat has mojo.
There's only one thing to do. There's only, dude, that is like ridiculous. Now,
Oh, look at the tumor on it. Oh, this boat is mojo.
dude, we brought, let's just so you guys understand, Pat, just so you understand, Flathead has been his name for over 20 years. That's what people call him. Flathead is a catfish.
The old friends. You got to be in the old friends group. Call me. Yeah.
You can't even get a catfish.
Yeah.
You know, Pat, I like garlic shrimp.
Yes.
So do your sheephead. Dude, that's a sheephead again, you know that, right?
Well, look who I'm fishing with. It probably is.
Dude, I don't catch sheephead. I'm in
Seriously?
my own boat. I can't even.
No, you fish fast when you're doing your spinners. You fish fast.
Dude, I'm gonna make you hand land this with the sheephead.
Oh, it probably is.
Dude, that's not. Hey, I just know it's not as big as my catfish. So I don't know.
That's all right.
You know, I'm not getting out of my seat yet. Keep the other one.
Yeah. You're gonna let me struggle a little bit. That's fine. It feels awful sheepish. Ross, you got it.
Okay, now serious talk. Well, I love watching you get murdered by giant sheephead, and this is like so much fun for me. Whoa, we've got 1 shrimp down.
Yeah, we got hot dogs and 3 rods, and all the sheephead are coming off the shrimp. So what does that tell you, Ross, when you're fishing bait-wise?
Well, you know what it tells when these people watch this is you've got to carry multiple types. No matter if you catch them one trip on hot dogs, like we caught our big fish on hot dogs before. That's why we'll show you the little video about making these hot dogs. We're gonna cut these things up, and you already know, but we're gonna tell the people here what we do. We're gonna leave these hot dogs right in the package, and we're gonna cut them up about like yay, because we want to try to save that juice. Just like that, boom. We're putting them in a little container. Here's a fun fact that I've learned. Use something like this that seals up, because I promise you, you do not want this getting loose in your boat. The wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, whomever it is, they're not gonna like this. So what else are we gonna put in this little concoction while I keep cutting the wieners up?
We've got strawberry Kool-Aid.
Strawberry Kool-Aid?
Yeah, and we have garlic powder.
I have to say, I'm glad I don't have to do this every night for walleye fishing.
Actually, this is cheaper than night crawlers, I'm sure.
It probably was a lot cheaper. Okay, so tell us, what did we just do there?
Well, we put a package of Kool-Aid, or not Kool-Aid, but strawberry jello into it, and we put half a container of garlic powder in it. And then we're going to mix this up.
I think we need 2 packages.
You want to do 2?
Why not? And like... This is going to smell like bad. Yeah. But that's kind of the point. Like, in all seriousness, you know, catfish like chicken livers, right? Like all these different nasty things. You want to stank this up because it's going to be laying on a mud bottom.
Well,
right?
I mean, you can already see it starting to change colors. That'll be
that's just
all
that's
that color
just
when it's done.
So, by the way, I think this is something like we could use with Country Steve, because we could like, you know, pour this in his car, and it would be amazing. He's brand new. He's got a brand new diesel. That would just be amazing. Maybe just shake it up. You know, Pat, the funny part is that, you know, normally you don't catch the non-catfish on the shrimp, and that's literally 100% all we've done
that's
today.
Typical.
So I'm thinking we're going to take a few shrimp, and maybe we'll dip that in our hot dog
sauce.
Yeah, sauce. Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It's nasty. I'm glad we got this nice flooring on the boat here, because that is nasty. Can you imagine getting that in carpet?
Yeah, we're going to probably have to have a car wash, I imagine.
I'm power washing. Yeah, that's part of your job too.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that or not yet. I mean, obviously as a catfish guide, you're marginal.
Yeah.
I mean, but we're having fun. Yeah. We're having fun.
They can put us on the sheet.
I put you on a big cat. I got a cat. Pat, this rod's double. It's double. Yeah. It's a catfish.
I believe so.
The cameraman's like, where? You make up a decision where you're going? And
Can you please make up your mind?
Yeah.
Up and over.
And in case they didn't watch more than 2 minutes of this video, I think we're actually gonna be here. This is one of my saltwater rods, and it's softer, so we can feel them take that thing. But I actually watched the line. This fish had this quite a ways before. Oh yeah. See, Pat, this is what you get when you do a catfishing show. You need catfish. See what I'm doing? And here's the MVP right here. Besides that VMC hook, which I'm gonna try to get that right now. It's like a kale style kind of, I used to call them. VMC. It's a saltwater hook, I believe, actually. It's a 1/0 is what we're using.
But notice the difference in the color of that fish versus the other one you caught. The other one was completely black, if you noticed.
Yeah. That's nasty. We're not eating this thing. But that's what we're here for, believe it or not. We want something a little different. We've done a few little catfish things like this before. This definitely isn't our first time, and his nickname is Flathead, so even though he hasn't caught any today yet, he's going to. I know. I have faith in him.
Eventually.
I have faith in him. I mean, the Fish USA gripper, like, you need one of these things. Like, you don't not want to have one of these. Trying to grab those things, they are nasty. But in all seriousness, let's take a second to show you the rigging that we got on this deal. Again, I am no catfishing guru, but catfishing gurus have shown me this rig. So kind of what we've got here is a leader that's maybe 18 inches long. And you want to vary that because it's going to change now how much they can swim with it, but how far off the bottom it's going to be. So I've got like a 20-pound floral leader material, super stiff. You can walk the dog with that. We've got a little VMC swivel here. We've got a little bead to kind of protect our knot. And then I've got, I don't even know what they call these, but it's like a sinker slide. It's a saltwater deal. And the nice thing is you can feed the stuff through, but you're not gonna have the line wear from the sinker. But here's the really awesome part. When you need to change sinker size, that's all you're doing. But here's the other added advantage. I've got this in the rod locker with no weights beating around on the rod. And so it's not gonna tangle up. So you switch them out, but also not beat the stuff up, not have the line wear. It's almost a no-brainer that that's the kind of system that you want. My hardcore catfish buddies all do this system. And then we can switch that thing right out. So a nice VMC hook on the bottom. You know, we're using circle hooks when the bite is really on. And that'll help out. But these Kale style hooks, something like that's a one-aught VMC. Little saltwater live bait hook. We'll show you that stuff later. That's what we're doing. Pat, my shrimp rod went. Yeah, guess what's probably on that? Oh, it's a cat! It's a cat! Oh my god! Dude, this thing, just true story. This thing swam. It's like a son of a gun. We caught 2 cats in like 2 seconds here. Put the little gripper down just to make it easy. I would have bet $1. I was getting ready to bust on the pad. This thing swam right at the boat. So even though we're using spot lock, one of the things you really want to do with this is kind of mind your lines, if you will, mend them, whatever you want to call it. But you're reeling up a little bit, you're letting out, because these fish will swim with it and then you don't know, or you're getting picked clean. Check your lines on a regular basis. But that spot lock is still going to move. That's awesome. You know, we don't have to hoist that thing up and down. We just moved 100 yards in 10 seconds. But when you do that, the boat is still going to move a little bit. It's not completely stationary. So making sure you have a little bit of heavier sinker, and then also just checking how much line you have out so you don't have too much slack, so you know what this fish on is a big deal. Shrimp, finally. Make sure you check your baits a bunch. We finally caught one on shrimp. Who knows, they could turn, so I said, hey, we're going to leave one on at least, right? Yes. And then fish grippers. We had a double there in catfish, so these things will make your life a lot easier so you don't get stung. But if you don't, you want to get up underneath here because those barbs will be a bad deal. But it's a whole lot easier just to use these old grippers. Your rod right here's going 100%. 100%. Keep it. Pat him like an ex-wife and eyes in the back of my head. I even knew that you had a fish on, which, you know, running different, Ross. I think we made literally like maybe 100-yard slide up off of this little depression, and we're on kind of a finger, and we only know that. Oh, catfish! Now that one was on the dog though, wasn't it? No, because you just switched the dog. Nope, that was shrimp. Shrimp. So here you know, shrimp switching over. Here's the key on this stuff. We just made a little slide, 100 yards, and we're up on the finger. 100% you don't get this without that Liftmaster chip, because you don't have to look and graph and everything. You just drive right to it. We went right on this little contour, or right on the edge. We hit the spot lock, and that's 3 cats in literally like 2 minutes. Pat, I know you've done way more of this than I have, because Pat, your nickname is Flathead. You've done more than this than I have. But I did notice the first bite you had that was actually a catfish. Yeah, well, I was trying to like attend to you and help out with your needs, but no, this makes Ross happy because this is my first catfish of the day, and he's caught what, 3 or 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's your first one though, and I feel good because this is kind of like, you know, take a kid fishing. Take a kid fishing. Yeah. Let that sucker go. We are definitely not eating that. So here we are, Maiden fishing voyage. We've been on the boat many times. You guys have seen some of those little teaser videos. First time we've actually fished though in the project boat, doing the catfish thing in case for somehow you ended up here and didn't watch what we were just doing. But we had my buddy Flathead, who we're now going to call Sheephead. He was along with us there, and it was nice to kind of, you know, start working on the stuff. We're still going to do a few little tweaks and things. If you haven't seen the project boat series, it's like 14 parts long or something. But we wanted to get out and fish in the boat and mess around. We're using it for different stuff, just like this backwaters deal, and things turned out out pretty good. We caught some fish, we caught some not desirable fish, but it was kind of fun to get out and actually all of this work that we put in the project boat to see it come to fruition here. Until next episode, make sure you watch our podcast videos and all that stuff. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It helps us. Then we can do more videos for you. We out.